You want to know why you're stuck? It's not your job, not your parents, not your boss, not even the economy. It's comfort. Yeah, that soft, warm, familiar place where nothing grows, nothing breaks, and nothing changes. Comfort is a slow death. It's waking up every day doing just enough to get by, hoping something magical will fix your life. Newsflash, nothing's coming. No one's coming. And the longer you stay comfortable, the harder it becomes to leave. You think you're safe because you've got a job, a steady income, maybe a nice couch to come home to and a fridge that isn't empty. You think your routine means you've got it together, but the truth, you're not safe. You're sedated. Comfort has drugged you. It's dulled your hunger, blurred your vision, and wrapped you in a warm little lie. Comfort doesn't protect you. It distracts you from your goals, from your purpose, from the version of you that's out there waiting, screaming, suffocating under layers of convenience and excuses. Look at your life. Really look. How many things are you doing today just because they're easy? Just because they don't hurt? The same morning scroll through your phone, the same meals, the same people, the same thoughts. And here's the wild part. Most people are more afraid of being uncomfortable than being unhappy. They will wake up every day to a life they secretly hate just because it doesn't scare them. Think about that. Comfort is the slowest kind of death because it doesn't kill you fast. It just drains you piece by piece. First your ambition, then your courage, then your energy, then your identity, until one day you look in the mirror and you don't recognize who you've become. And worse, you don't even care enough to change it. You ever seen someone work a job they hate for 20 years? It's not because they're not smart. It's not because they're not capable. It's because they got comfortable and then they confused that comfort for safety. But if your future is built on fear, that's not safety. That's a prison. Every time you skip the gym because it's too much today, every time you cancel a hard conversation because you'll do it later, every time you pick the easy thing over the right thing, you're choosing sedation. You're saying, I'd rather feel okay now than feel powerful later. You ever sat on a couch for 3 hours scrolling through nonsense and at the end felt inspired? No, you felt drained because your brain knows you're hiding. Comfort doesn't charge you. It numbs you. You want to feel alive again. Get uncomfortable. Say no to the things that feel good short term and yes to the things that actually make you stronger. You think staying quiet at work keeps you safe. Try speaking up. Try asking for what you're worth. Try pitching the crazy idea you've been sitting on for 3 years. Yeah, it'll be scary. Yeah, it might go badly, but at least you'll feel something. At least you'll be awake. Watch a lion in the wild. Every day it has to hunt, fight, survive. Now watch a lion in a zoo. Well fed, safe, calm. Now tell me, where's the fire in its eyes? It's gone because safety stole its soul. Comfort is the zoo. It keeps you alive, but it kills your spirit. That's why comfort is not safety. It's sedation. It lulls you into thinking time doesn't matter. It whispers that you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow is the biggest lie comfort ever sold. The truth, your life doesn't change when you feel ready. It changes the moment you say, screw comfort. I want more. Start waking up earlier than your excuses. Take cold showers that remind you you're in control. Talk to people who make you uncomfortable. Do one hard thing every single day until hard things become your new normal. Because if you don't choose pain, you're choosing poison. And the longer you stay comfortable, the harder it is to remember what it feels like to really live. Pain is a mirror. It reflects truth, the kind of truth most people spend their whole lives running from, because pain doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter. It doesn't sugarcoat. It shows you exactly who you are, what you're made of, and where you're still weak. You want to know if you're disciplined. Start waking up at 5 a.m. every day. That alarm clock doesn't care how motivated you feel, it just rings. And in that moment, pain shows up. The pain of leaving your warm bed, the pain of facing the cold, the stillness, the loneliness. And that's where the mirror kicks in. It shows you whether you keep your word or break it, not to anyone else, to yourself. You want to know if you've got what it takes to build something real. Start a business. Launch a brand. Pursue your art. Every failure, every rejection, every unanswered email, every customer that walks away, it all hurts. But that pain is honest. It tells you you're not ready yet. You're not good enough yet. But you could be, if you're willing to listen to it instead of hide from it. People treat pain like it's the enemy, like it's something to avoid. But pain is the only thing that tells the truth without a filter. It doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about your future. You ever try to run a mile after not moving for months? Your chest burns, your legs scream. And in your head, all these voices start showing up. Why are you doing this? Just stop. You're not built for this? That right there, that's the mirror. It's not just your body hurting. It's all your doubts rising to the surface. Pain doesn't just reflect physical limits. It reflects mental ones. It drags your excuses out from the shadows and throws them in your face. That's why most people don't push themselves. Not because they're lazy, because they're scared of what pain will show them. Scared they'll find out they're not as strong as they pretend to be. But that's the point. You're not supposed to already be strong. You're supposed to discover your strength by stepping into the fire. Look at any person who's truly confident. Not fake confident, not loud and flashy. Real confidence, it's always built on pain, not comfort. They've failed, they've fallen, they've heard no 1,000 times. And because of that, they've learned what's real. They've learned what parts of themselves were lies, and they left those behind in the fire. Pain is the great purifier. It strips away the ego. It exposes the parts of you that still need work. And if you're brave enough to look in that mirror and not flinch, that's when everything changes. You want to fix your relationships, face the pain of the hard conversations, hear the truth about how you've been showing up. Stop pretending everything's fine and ask the uncomfortable questions. Because under that discomfort is clarity, and under clarity is growth. You want to level up in life. Find where it hurts, lean into it, because that pain is a signal. It's your body, your mind, your soul pointing to the exact place that needs work. Most people walk through life with a broken mirror. They surround themselves with comfort, praise, distractions, anything to avoid that moment of truth. But if you want to rise, if you want to lead, if you want to become someone people respect, you have to step in front of the mirror and let the pain show you everything. The good, the bad, the unfinished. Because pain isn't here to break you, it's here to reveal you. Growth is purchased with pain. This isn't some cliché line to make you feel better when life gets hard. It's the brutal truth that everyone who's ever accomplished anything meaningful has lived by. You want to get better. You want to level up. You want to build something real that lasts. Then you have to pay the price. And that price is pain. Think about a seed. It's buried underground, alone in the dark, and it's surrounded by dirt pressing down on it. The seed doesn't get to skip the struggle. It doesn't get a shortcut. The only way it can grow into a mighty tree is by pushing through that soil, breaking the surface, and reaching for the sun. And that pushing, that breaking, that's pain, discomfort, struggle. People want the fruit of success without feeling the weight of the roots. But those roots grow deep in the soil of pain. Every failure, every setback, every sleepless night, every awkward conversation, every rejection, those are the invisible investments you're making in your future growth. Look at anyone you admire, the athlete who wins gold, the entrepreneur who built a business from scratch, the artist who sells out shows. None of them skipped the pain. None of them stayed comfortable. They all had moments where quitting felt like the only option. Moments where their bodies ached, their minds screamed, and their hearts broke. But instead of running away, they leaned in. They said, "This pain is my ticket." Have you ever tried to learn something new? Maybe a language, or an instrument, or a skill for your job. At first, it's awkward, frustrating. You make mistakes, you feel dumb, you want to give up. That discomfort, that's growth knocking at your door. It's your future self demanding you pay the toll. But here's the catch. If you run from that pain, you don't grow. You stay stuck. The gap between who you are and who you want to be widens. People think growth is a straight line. It's not. It's a messy battlefield, filled with wounds, scars, and sometimes failures that feel like they'll break you. But here's the thing about pain. It's temporary. It's a visitor. It teaches you lessons and leaves. Growth, on the other hand, is permanent. It's the trophy you keep after the pain is gone. Take the example of a weightlifter. Lifting heavy weights causes microscopic tears in the muscles. That's pain, that's damage, but that damage forces the muscle to rebuild stronger than before. No pain, no gain isn't just a saying. It's biology. Your body grows through breaking down first. Your mind works the same way. Every time you challenge your limits, whether it's public speaking, starting a business, or facing a fear, you create tiny cracks in your comfort zone. And those cracks widen with every painful step forward until your old self can't fit anymore. But society sells you the opposite story. It sells comfort as the ultimate goal. It tells you to avoid pain, to seek ease, to work smart, not hard. But here's the trap. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It's the slow poison that makes you forget what you're capable of. It's the lullaby that keeps you asleep while your dreams fade. Real growth demands you get comfortable being uncomfortable. It demands you show up when your body says no, when your mind screams quit, when your heart feels empty. It demands sacrifice, discipline, grit. Remember that time you stayed up all night studying for a test? You were exhausted, your eyes burned, but you pushed through. That pain bought you knowledge. Maybe a good grade, maybe confidence. That's growth. Or think about the last time you faced rejection, a job you wanted, a relationship you hoped for, a project you poured your heart into. The pain of rejection stings, but it forces you to reevaluate, to adapt, to improve. Without it, you'd never learn resilience. Growth is not free. It never was. You pay in sweat, in tears, in hours lost, in moments when you'd rather quit but don't. And the currency is pain. The price is discomfort. The reward is freedom. The freedom to be who you were always meant to be, not who you settled for. So when life hits hard, when pain shows up knocking, don't turn away. Don't numb yourself. Don't pretend it's not there. That pain is your ticket to growth. It's the currency you trade for your future self. Growth is expensive, but comfort bankrupts your soul. The price of your future is paid in discomfort today. It's one of those truths that sounds simple until it stares you in the face during your hardest moments you want success. Freedom, fulfillment. Those things aren't handed out like participation trophies. They come with a cost, and that cost isn't comfort. It's pain, it's sacrifice, it's discomfort. Imagine a farmer planting seeds in the cold early morning. The frost bites his fingers, the wind cuts through his jacket, but he keeps going. Why? Because he knows the harvest depends on the work he does now, not when it's easy or warm, but when it's tough. Your future is no different. Every uncomfortable step you take today is the seed for your tomorrow. Think about the student who stays up late night after night, pushing through exhaustion to learn a skill, study for an exam, or work on a project. Their friends are out partying, scrolling through their phones, sleeping peacefully, and maybe they envy that ease. But they don't see what that discomfort will bring: a better grade, an opportunity, a future they control. The discomfort now buys them freedom later. We live in a world that worships comfort. It sells you endless distractions designed to numb your pain and soothe your worries. The couch calls your name after a long day. The phone lights up with mindless entertainment. The fridge offers quick fixes to your hunger. These little comforts are seductive. They whisper, just rest a little longer. Don't push too hard. Tomorrow is another day. But tomorrow is a thief if you don't pay your price today. Look at any successful person, and you'll find a trail of discomfort behind them. The long hours nobody sees, the early mornings nobody applauds, the sacrifices they made while others partied or slept in. The discomfort was their ticket to the life they dreamed of. Remember the last time you pushed yourself physically, maybe a run when every muscle screamed. Stop, maybe a workout when your body begged for rest. Every second was uncomfortable. Every breath was a reminder you were testing your limits. And with each step, you were investing in your strength, in your health, in your future ability to go further, faster, longer. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the currency of progress. The gym, the grind, the struggle, the sacrifice, that's the down payment on your future success. When you skip that uncomfortable step, you're not saving yourself pain. You're delaying growth. You're putting your future on hold. People ask, how do I stay motivated? Motivation is fragile. It's a spark, but discomfort is the fuel that keeps the fire burning long after motivation fades. You don't need motivation to face pain, you need commitment. And commitment means showing up, especially when it's hard, when every part of you screams to quit, to rest, to give in. Think about the entrepreneur who wakes up at dawn to work on their dream, not because it's easy, but because they're willing to endure the discomfort of sacrifice, uncertainty, and failure. Their future depends on it. The discomfort they accept today is the freedom they'll celebrate tomorrow. The price of your future is paid in discomfort today, not comfort. Every time you choose to stay comfortable, you're essentially signing a contract that says, I'm okay with settling. Every time you say no to the easy path and yes to the hard one, you're investing in a future version of yourself who lives on your terms. It's easy to look at someone who's successful and think they got lucky, but what you don't see is the pain they paid, the discomfort they endured in silence. No one wants to admit how many nights they cried, how many days they felt broken, how many moments they wanted to quit. Discomfort is the sculptor. It chisels away your excuses, your fears, your weaknesses. It shapes you into something stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. So the next time you face pain, fatigue, fear, or doubt, remember that's your future demanding payment. Don't turn away. Lean into it. Embrace the discomfort, because every uncomfortable moment you endure is the down payment on a future no one else can take from you. Comfort is temporary pleasure. Pain is long-term power. That's a simple phrase, but it holds a secret most people never want to face. We live in a culture obsessed with feeling good all the time. Everyone wants the easy route, the soft landing, the immediate fix. But here's the truth: comfort feels good in the moment, but it robs you of your future. Pain hurts now, but it builds power that lasts forever. Think about the last time you chose comfort. Maybe you skipped a workout because the bed was warm and the alarm was harsh. Maybe you decided not to speak up in a meeting because it was easier to stay quiet than risk embarrassment. Maybe you ate fast food instead of cooking a healthy meal because it was faster and tasted good. Those moments felt good. They felt easy. They felt comfortable. But what did they cost you? Every choice like that chips away at your strength, your confidence, your growth. Now, imagine the opposite. You get out of bed when your body says no. You push through the pain of sore muscles. You speak your mind even when your voice shakes. You make tough decisions even when they're scary. That pain feels brutal in the moment. It's uncomfortable, awkward, exhausting. But that pain is an investment. It's power being forged. It's character being built. Look at athletes. Their entire lives revolve around pain. They train, they sweat, they suffer through injuries and setbacks. They wake up early, sacrifice weekends, deny cravings, all for moments that last seconds on the field, but echo forever in their legacy. Comfort would have been easy. Pain is what made them champions. Or think about a musician learning an instrument. Every mistake, every off note is painful. Every hour of practice when the fingers bleed or the voice cracks feels like punishment. But that pain turns into skill, into art, into something no one can take away. Comfort would have been staying on the couch watching TV. Pain built their mastery. We all face a choice every day. Chase temporary pleasure or build long-term power. Scrolling social media, binge watching shows, eating junk food. These are comfort's sweet lies. They mask boredom, fear, pain, but they never solve anything. They give you a quick hit of dopamine, then leave you emptier than before. Pain doesn't promise pleasure, it demands sacrifice. It's hard, it's raw, it's often lonely. But pain carves you into someone who can handle more. Pain stretches your limits and expands your potential. It transforms your identity from a spectator in life to a creator of destiny. Imagine your future self, not the tired, worn-out version who settled for easy, but the powerful, disciplined person who chose pain over comfort day after day. That future self walks with confidence, makes tough decisions with clarity, and handles challenges with grace. That power didn't come from comfort. It came from pain. Comfort is fleeting. It's a sugar rush in a world starving for strength. Pain is the heavy lifting no one wants to do but everyone needs. Every successful person has a painful story behind their victory. Every great leader has scars that remind them of battles fought in discomfort. Next time you're tempted to take the easy way out, remember this: comfort is temporary pleasure. Pain is long-term power. Your dreams don't grow in comfort zones. They grow in the struggle, in the grind, in the willingness to endure pain today so you can live in power tomorrow. Pain doesn't last, regret does. That's a reality most people don't want to face, because pain, even though it's uncomfortable, is something we can endure. Pain is temporary. It comes, it tests you, it shapes you, and then it passes. But regret lingers. It's a shadow that follows you for years, sometimes a lifetime. It's the silent thief stealing joy from your memories, the heavy chain holding you back from living fully. Think about a time when you avoided something difficult. Maybe you wanted to start a new job, learn a new skill, or tell someone how you really felt, but you didn't. You stayed quiet, stayed in your comfort zone, and let fear or laziness win. In that moment, you felt relief because you avoided the pain of uncertainty, rejection, or hard work. But later, when you were alone with your thoughts, that relief turned into a gnawing emptiness. That emptiness is regret. It's pain's long-lasting cousin. Everyone has moments like that. Maybe it was the chance to move to a new city, the opportunity to start a business, or the conversation you never had with a loved one. When you look back, those moments don't sting because you felt pain. They sting because you didn't act. You let comfort win. You chose the easy path instead of the right one. That's the kind of pain that doesn't fade. Imagine an athlete who trains through injury, pushes through exhaustion, faces rejection, but never quits. The pain in those moments is intense but short-lived. The regret of quitting, that lasts forever. It haunts their thoughts, it steals their confidence, it rewrites their story in a way they don't want to remember. Think about the student who stayed up late to study, sacrificing parties and sleep, and then succeeded. Yes, it was painful, exhaustion, stress, pressure, but there's no regret there, only pride. Now compare that to the student who chose comfort every night, then failed the exam, and now wonders what might have been. The pain of failure is temporary, but regret for wasted potential, it's permanent. Regret doesn't just come from big decisions. It builds slowly from small ones, days spent procrastinating, moments when you told yourself later, but never showed up. Regret is the echo of your own inaction. It's the voice that says, what if? What if you had started that project? What if you had said yes instead of no? What if you had chosen discomfort over ease just once? Most people run from pain because they think it's the worst thing they can feel. But pain is honest. Pain is a sign you're growing, changing, challenging yourself. Regret, on the other hand, is silent and deadly. It's a slow poison that eats away at your soul because it's rooted in lost opportunities and undone dreams. Look at the stories of people who faced great pain but found freedom through it. They didn't regret the pain. They regretted the times they avoided it. The moments they chose comfort over courage. The moments they stayed quiet instead of speaking up. They learned that pain can be a path to freedom, but regret is a trap that keeps you imprisoned in your own mind. You want to live a life without regret. Embrace the pain. Don't run from the hard conversations, the difficult choices, the uncomfortable truths. Face them head on. Show up for the moments that scare you. Because the pain you feel now is temporary, but the freedom it brings lasts forever. When you're at a crossroads between what's easy and what's right, between comfort and growth, remember this: pain is a visitor, but regret is a permanent resident. Choose through it. Push through it, because pain clears the path to your future, while regret blocks the way and steals your peace. The choice is yours. Comfort or freedom, ease or greatness, the quick fix or the lasting victory. In this life, no one ever stood at the finish line and said, I wish I had taken it easier. No, the stories we tell ourselves in the end are about the battles we fought, the pain we endured, the mountains we climbed when every part of us screamed to quit. Remember what JFK said, there are risks and costs to action, but they are far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction. Comfort is the enemy of progress, the thief of dreams, and the silent assassin of potential. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your ally. Pain is the fire that forges champions, the sculptor of character, the pathway to freedom. Think of what Winston Churchill said in the darkest hours of war: to each, there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a great thing, be the one who answers. Pain taps on your shoulder every day. The question is, will you answer? Will you rise when your body is heavy and your mind is exhausted? Will you face the discomfort that promises growth? Or will you stay locked in comfort, watching your dreams slip through your fingers? Tony Robbins reminds us that the only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. If your story is one of fear, avoidance, and comfort, then your reality will reflect that. But if you rewrite your story, if you choose pain over ease, struggle over stagnation, then you'll create a new reality. One where freedom, success, and fulfillment are not just possibilities but certainties. Think about the legendary Michael Jordan, who said, I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. He didn't succeed because he avoided pain or discomfort. He succeeded because he embraced them, learned from failure, and pushed beyond what most people thought possible. Pain wasn't a barrier for him, it was a stepping stone. The great Nelson Mandela said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Pain is fear's cousin. It's what makes us hesitate. But courage is moving forward anyway, knowing that pain today is the price for freedom tomorrow. Your journey is not about avoiding pain, it's about welcoming it as a sign you are alive, growing, and becoming more than you were yesterday. As Arnold Schwarzenegger put it, strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength. Pain is your training ground. It's where you build your mental muscles, your resilience, your unbreakable spirit. Don't settle for a life where comfort controls your choices and pain is the enemy. Flip the script. Make pain your partner in the dance of life. Wear it like a badge of honor because it means you are moving forward, breaking barriers, and rewriting what's possible. This moment right now, this feeling in your chest, this restless energy, is the invitation. It's pain knocking at your door, urging you to rise, to fight, to grow. Accept it. Embrace it. Become the person who refuses to settle, who chooses discomfort as the gateway to freedom. Remember what Harry Potter's Albus Dumbledore said, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Pain is the darkness. Growth is the light. The power to turn that light on is in your hands. So stand tall. Lean into the pain. Push past the comfort. Build a life so rich, so powerful, so free that every struggle you endured was worth it tenfold. Because in the end, comfort is poison and pain is freedom. The freedom to live a life without limits, without regrets, and with purpose burning brighter than any fear ever could.